Well, welcome to the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Ashland County's Levy Kickoff. And if you're listening or watching this, you probably missed the kickoff, which I understand. There's a lot of going on in our lives, and I can imagine that maybe 8:30 was too early for some of you. So we did have the kickoff event on September 10th over at the Convocation Center. I wanted to do this brief recording of what we covered, at least during the slide portion of the event. We also had some other special speakers, but the crux of the kickoff was this information that I wanted to review. We will post this on our Levy page, ashlandmhrb.org. So let me get through this with you all. And again, if you ever have questions, call us at 419-281-3139. We'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. But just to start, this is our 1 mil 10-year property tax levy that will be on the ballot this November. So who comprises the board? This is an important slide. There's 12 Ashland County resident volunteers. They are volunteers. 8 of them are appointed by the county commissioners locally, and the other 4 by the Department of Behavioral Health. It's critical that you understand these are local folks because they are your neighbors, your folks that volunteer and their community members. You may know some of these folks that you run into them at the store, at church, in the community. They are personally connected to the mental health substance use issues that we have in the county. We have what are called categorical appointments. There are 6 of them. And hopefully that'll make sense as I go through. We have to have somebody on the board who's a family member of someone with mental health and or substance use issues. We also need somebody that's in recovery from mental health and or substance use issues. And then we need a professional who's experienced in mental health and or substance use field. So this is critical because these experiences really are necessary to have a fully informed and I think functioning and responsive mental health and recovery board. They have to have these unique experiences since the decisions they're making are so critical for folks with mental health and substance use issues. So our current chair is Andrew Kinney, Mary Dieter, Chad Brown, Katie Wright, Cindy Kaiser. She got cut off there in the slide I'm looking at. Ben Key, Ed Keeper, Sarah Battison, Conley Butler, Nancy Udoff, Tom Goss, and then we do have 1 open seat at the moment. But let me show you some pictures. These are our board members. Yes, they attend meetings. They make very important decisions at those meetings, but they're also out and about at our events and in the community. So I wanted you to see some of them in action. You see this slide, whether we're at the fair, our luncheon, the RSVP conference, which is a very large conference, Veterans Appreciation Day, etc. What do we do? So this is a critical slide as well. The boards plan, fund, monitor, and evaluate publicly funded behavioral health services in Ashland County. We are the safety net. So if individuals don't have insurance or an ability to pay, they can always receive services with our contract partner agencies, which I'll talk about in a second. But the planning, funding, monitoring, and evaluating, that is to ensure that the services are the right services for Ashland County, that they're being delivered in the right way, and that the outcomes that are being achieved are acceptable. Keep in mind that the board is not allowed to provide services directly, so we have to contract with licensed and certified mental health substance use agencies, like our 3 current partners, which are Appleseed Community Mental Health Center, Catholic Charities, Diocese of Cleveland, and Acada. So all 3 of these partners have been in our community over 20 years. They're long-term partners of the board. Hopefully you all know them and trust them to provide these services. We contract with proven partners. And the services are vital, and our role really is to safeguard excellence, accountability, and results you can trust. I wanted you to see their faces because they're such important people. You see Cheryl Villegas there, Jerry Strasbaugh, and Rick Ford. So these are the directors of each of our 3 contract partners. For over 20 years, Ashland has consistently said yes to mental health. So this is the history of the levy. I just wanted you to see this because, as you can tell, the support has been tremendous. We originally passed the levy back in 2001. We renewed it in 05, replaced it in 2010, and then we renewed it in 15 and 20. So, as I said earlier, we are trying to replace it here in 2025, which would only be the second time that we've gone to replace it. The levy schedule. So this current levy that we're in, it expires December 25. That means our first opportunity to go on the ballot is this November, and we're doing that. If for some reason we're not successful or the voters tell us no, we have two more chances. Once in the spring of 2026 and then again November of 2026 to go before you and ask for your vote before there would be a cash flow interruption, which would affect obviously services. I did want to show you a little bit about the revenue sources and their levels. So you can see there at the top, the levy accounts for a little over 1.24 million. These are 2024 numbers, which are our latest complete numbers from the fiscal year. And I'll show you on the next slide, maybe it'll make more sense. 1.24 million, which makes up about 26% of our overall funding. We have some federal, state, other local funding sources that are smaller, but state funding is our highest, followed by the levy, then federal, and then some other local and grant funds round out the board's entire budget. So how does it help? It provides the majority of funding for the School Community Liaison Program, which is an incredibly effective, popular program that benefits all the school districts in Ashland County. So our levy funds also help us leverage state federal grant dollars. So oftentimes you have to match grants with local dollars. So I can't draw down the $100,000 from the state or the feds unless I have another $100,000 to match it. Levy funds are our most flexible restricted funds. Many of the federal and state funds come with strings, and those strings really get in the way of doing the services in such a way that they're most effective. So the School Community Liaison is a wonderful example of this. That's a program that, because it's levy funded, it is got the minimum number of strings, which allows people to get seen quickly with very limited paperwork, very little hoops, I like to say, that folks have to jump through to get the services quickly, effectively, for as long as they need, in the way they need it. And again, that last point, they just help us maximize the use of other funds. If we're using levy funds in other areas, we don't have to use the state and federal funds on it. In fact, we save money by levy funded programs so we can extend how far the federal and state funds go. I wanted to highlight a few programs before I wrapped up. The School Community Liaison Program, again, our most complete numbers in 2024, over 2,250 youth received services. That's 35% of the students in our local districts. So think about just that one program is touching around 35% or more of the students in our local districts through that one program that's levy funded. The number of youth receiving liaison services has gone really very high, 125% since its initial inception back in 01. So the folks that benefit by that program are benefiting at higher and higher rates and levels than they were, again, 20-some years ago. And we're happy to try to keep pace with that need. But as I'll get to, that kind of makes the case why we're asking for a replacement this go-round. And again, students that are in that program consistently demonstrate improved attendance, academic improvement, and improved behaviors. Alcohol, tobacco, other drug prevention. Again, this is another service we have in all the districts, and the evidence-based prevention program that they utilize is what they call the Too Good for Drugs program. Again, look at that. Over 4,100 youth that were served in our fiscal year 2024. Again, can't say enough about the collaboration with our local schools for both the School Community Liaison Program as well as the prevention program. But prevention is critical. It's so hard to track about how this saves money and saves lives and positively impacts the community, because we basically do a good job such that bad outcomes don't happen. And it's very hard to measure that, but we've done prevention programming for many, many years. And when I hear the stories from the young people, now grown up, many of them, who have told me how effective and critical these services were in helping them either never using or delaying use, and how grateful and thankful they are, both the young people as well as family members, that we offer these services. Again, it empowers students to make these healthy choices, reduce risky behaviors, build a safer, more focused school and home environment that supports long-term academic and personal success. Another critical levy-funded services is the 24/7 crisis line. It's local, 419-289-6111. When you call, you are going to get a local, knowledgeable person. And again, 24/7, we mean that. You do not have to face a crisis alone in Ashland County. Someone will help talk with you, discuss what's going on, give you resources either immediately, or if you need longer term resources, maybe you just need information to help a loved one, they can do all of that. We kind of break down our calls into like emergent, crisis, or de-escalation needs. It can involve education, consultation. So what I like to tell folks, you don't need to worry about that. You just need to call. They can sort out how to respond to your call, but you don't have to just be in a crisis like life or death crisis. Certainly you can call 911. You can call us at the 289-6111, but you can call just to find out what services are available, where to go, who to call. It's a great resource, and it's 24/7. Mental health emergencies, that's why I put this point on here. Mental health emergencies don't follow a schedule. Immediate round-the-clock access to professional support can prevent tragedies, reduce unnecessary hospitalization, law enforcement involvement, ensure individuals in crisis receive compassionate care close to home when and where they need it. So crisis services, another critical levy funded program. So here's where we're at. The needs are increasing. Our funding has been flat these last 15 years, which is the last time we asked for a replacement levy to be passed. The cost to continue what we have has increased, and I like to show that with this next slide. If you want to think about the prices of things 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, I think you'll recognize this is a 10-year comparison, that a dollar today only buys 68% of what it could buy 10 years ago. That's a critical difference. So just to maintain the kinds of services that we've been doing the last 10 years, 15 years, the cost to do that has gone up. So for us just to maintain, but as I said in a previous slide, the needs aren't the same. They've actually increased. So it's a double whammy. So the needs are up, and the costs to do what we're currently doing, as well as meet the additional needs, are what prompted my board to go for an increase through the replacement levy. What you see here, a 56% increase in non-Medicaid persons served. This is just talking about the increase in people served, the increase in the need. I was just trying to drive home that point over time. You can see how that's grown. Okay, this is what a lot of folks want to know. The renewal versus replacement, what's the difference? The renewal would cost an owner of a $100,000 home $21.31 monthly. That's $1.78 a month. Services, we would just be able to maybe keep the status quo, but we wouldn't be able to meet any additional needs. A replacement, what that does is that takes into account all the new construction since our last replacement, which again, remember, was 15 years ago. So it takes into account the last, all the construction that's occurred in the last 15 years, and it does base the collection on the most recent valuation. So that ends up being $35 versus $21 per year. Monthly cost there of $2.92. So you can see that difference. We are talking about $1.14 increase per month, or around $18.69 per year on a $100,000 house. So that is the cost of that replacement versus the renewal. But again, we are confident that the community will come out and hopefully support us when we go here for the replacement. And we feel that way for a lot of reasons, but here's a graphical reason. 5 years ago, when we did the renewal levy, we were in the midst of the pandemic, but you can see that overwhelmingly this community supported our levy, 72 to 28%. Back in 15, 64 to 36%. Now, the last replacement levy, like I said, 15 years ago, but even then, the support that's a very high support rate for a replacement levy. So because of all these things and more, we are hopeful that the community will once again support our request. So here's our levy timeline. Hang in there, getting close to the end. The levy kickoff was on the 10th. We've already done some things before that to get ready. Early voting actually begins October 7th. So feel free to vote early, but election day is November 4th, and we're hoping for a big celebration at the end of that. So we need your help. Please get the word out. If you need a sign and you didn't get one at the kickoff event, all you need to do is give us a call, 419-281-3139, or go to the website, ashlandmhrb.org, and you can fill out a form that says, I want a sign, I'll pick it up, or I need somebody to deliver it, and then you put in your address, we'll deliver you your sign. So get the word out, plant your signs on October 1st. Talk to your friends. Talk to your neighbors about what we're doing, what the levy will fund, what it already is funding, and all the additional services that we are hopeful to fund if we're successful. Additional services in crisis, in the school-based services, for our seniors. We have plenty of opportunities because the needs continue to grow. We need your help by volunteering at our upcoming events. Plenty of events that are upcoming. Feel free to give us a call, talk with Sandy or myself, and we will get you hooked up to some of our activities. Letters to the editor, we appreciate that, whether it's the Ashland Source or the Times-Gazette. Those are our two primary newspaper outlets for the community. Post, share, like on social media. I don't do a ton on social media, if I'm being honest, but I know a lot of you are on social media. So please, when you see our content, like it, share it, say good things about what's going on, let folks know what you think about and feel about, and vote, vote, vote. Now, I don't mean vote 3 times. I don't want to get in trouble, but just vote. Just encouraging folks to get out there and vote. This is an excerpt from a vet, Michael Sikora. He gave us some of his poetry recently, and in one of them, they were all very powerful, but one of them, there was an excerpt I just wanted to take and incorporate into the talk today. It says, all of the memories that keep them up at night, not only a fight of the mind, now a fight of a different kind, trying to make themselves whole again, trying to be as they were back then. So Michael was talking about, again, vets, but this is really, for me, this is kind of a rallying cry for all the folks that are struggling with mental health and substance use, emotional issues. How often they say, or their family member says, they just want to get through successfully what they're going through. It seems like a dark period or a chapter or a phase or a season of life, and they're just trying to regain that sense of joy and hope that they had before. So thank you to Michael for that piece from his the title was A Wounded Warrior, and this is just an excerpt from that piece that he made. Promise, last slide. Vote yes. ContinueTheCaring.com is our official levy page. So all things levy are on ContinueTheCaring.com. Feel free to go there, and you can watch this recorded kickoff video as well as many other things that I discussed today. And like I said, if there's ever a chance where you're confused or we didn't mention something, just call us. We are happy to talk about the levy or any of your other concerns that you may have about mental health substance use services in Ashland County. So when Ashland invests in mental health, lives are saved, families are stronger, and our community thrives. So this November, we are just asking for your vote. Please vote yes for mental health, because caring can't wait. And I appreciate you and thank you for watching the video.